guys, welcome back. Year 182. We're here for a very special episode. We're going to talk about Tom DeLonge's famous sticker strat. It's pretty cool. I think I know it from the Dammit video, but I don't know a lot about it. And I'm not sure, Stefan, do you know a lot about it?
Um, I'm a little bit, yeah. Like, I mean, it's obviously one of the more nostalgic guitars, and well, honestly, even though it was only used for a short time, it's one of the more popular guitars. We got asked quite a bit. I think this was the most asked guitar for us to cover. Now, Brian and I know, like Brian was saying, a little bit about it. I know a little bit about it. We can get the information and whatever and do it ourselves, but I don't think we would have done it justice as well as somebody that like we have here. So for those who don't know, this is Dave. Dave is a pretty big Blink fan. Dave,
Long time.
maybe if you want to give us a quick 30-second bio of you, what got you into the Blink community, what keeps you, all that fun
I
stuff.
I got into Blink like most kids in the '90s. I was just a skateboarder, punk rock kid, snotty teenager, and I got into the first time I heard Blink was in the summer of '96 at a local skate spot. We would skate and we'd bring like those old school boombox CD player tape
Yeah.
players with 8 million D batteries in them, and I forget what CD we had on, but this other group of kids were there, and kid was like, "Hey, you mind if I pop this CD on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And it was Cheshire Cat, and I mean, from the moment the first song kicks in, I was just hooked, like most of us. So it's just been number one band since then.
Yeah.
Um, and the sticker strat, the first time I saw that, um, was probably online. There were some really cool fan sites in the '90s, in addition to the Dammit video. But even before that, there were a couple fan sites that were really good, better than the official Blink site at the time. And I just remember thinking that was the coolest looking guitar. It, like most kids, Tom DeLonge made me want to pick up a guitar and learn how to play.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when I first saw the sticker strat, I thought, is Tom a fan of Billy Joe Armstrong? Because of the slant pickup in there. Let's just do a really quick, what's your favorite top three Blink songs, and then we'll get on to the sticker strat.
That's tough. Probably M&M's. I'll probably throw Lemmings in there,
All right.
and I'll probably go with What's My Age Again. I could probably rotate the number three spot. Probably rotate it constantly. I mean, I love Dammit. I love emo. Um, I love Zulu, Wasting Time, Don't Leave Me. I mean, just a ton of tracks. But I'll probably throw in What's My Age Again. I know that's like one of the big singles. Everybody and their mother knows the song, but it's just a really good song.
I
It holds
love.
up.
I just love the fact that like you can pinpoint where or like from that moment of time when you first heard the band, and that's what stuck with you. Like it just shows how much of an impression this band does. It's unbelievable. I'm in awe for hearing some of the stories that people have of the first time they heard Blink, the first time they heard Untitled or Enema or Dude Ranch, and it's still amazes me to this day. That's super cool. But again, we're here because of the sticker strat, and it does have. It's only been a few years that it was in Tom's arsenal, but it still left quite a big impression and went through a lot of changes and iterations, right? Like, so first off, I think we should kind of talk about just what the guitar was. So Dave, if you want to kind of give us a bit of a history of just what the guitar is. Now, for a reference, this isn't Tom's guitar. This was just a stock 40th anniversary that I found online, but.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, I hate to say this, and I don't say this in a negative way, but the sticker strat isn't anything super unique or special other than who owned it and what he did with it. It's not like some cool custom shop guitar. It didn't come with some super unique color paint job. It was just a 1994 Fender American Standard Stratocaster. The only caveat is that it was a 40th anniversary edition. The Stratocasters came out in 1954, I think it was, if I'm doing my math right. So in '94, Fender did a little 40th anniversary run on these American Standard Strats, and as far as I know, the only real cosmetic difference is right off the bat on the headstock. You'll notice that there's a little pin,
Mhm.
and it says 40th anniversary. You probably can't zoom in on that photo, If my son wasn't sleeping, I'd go up and grab the neck off mine that still has the pin on it. And
Is it
that,
Olympic white, Dave? Olympic white?
yeah, Tom's was Olympic white. It's yellowed over the years, like Olympic usually does, but it was Olympic white. Like in that photo, that's like a nice yellowed. It was probably a nice yellowed white, unless that is a vintage white or something. But Tom's was Olympic white. So in the '90s, it looked pretty white, and now it's a little yellowed. Aside from that pin up on the headstock, some of the 40th anniversary Strats had a special neck plate that said like Fender Stratocaster, keep on rocking.
40 years, keep rocking. Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, the one I purchased off Reverb to do my accurate sticker Strat replication has that neck plate.
Nice.
The one Davy Jones bought off Reverb to do his does not. And from the photos I've been sent from Tom's manager, Tom's doesn't have it either. So we're not sure. Yeah, we're not sure if it was like a certain serial number one that got them and didn't, or maybe they ran out of them. We're not sure there. Davies and mine are both within a few hundred of Tom's serial number wise. So we're not really 100% sure why there's not a consistency on the neck plates, but offhand, those are really the only two cosmetic differences on the guitar from a regular 94 American Standard Strat. They still came with the 2-point trem bridge, the 3 single coil pickups. I've seen them in rosewood and maple fretboards. Tom's was rosewood. They don't have locking tuners. There's nothing insanely unique about them other than those two little cosmetic differences, and some of them only have the one difference being the pin on the headstock.
Now, is the body routed just for 3 singles?
No, mine's not. I could say that mine has a wider route, and Alan Corona refinished mine white because it came in. It was a cool color. It was like some kind of purplish blue, but it needed to be white to be a sticker Strat. So he had to cut a little bit for the angled humbucker, not much. But it's mostly like a deeper, wider pickup route. It's not 3 single coil routes, at least not my body. I don't know if, I haven't seen Tom's without the pickguard on it. I don't remember what Davies was like. I imagine they're probably the same.
So got it in '94. That's when he started using it. So here, this is the first, I guess, time he's had it on display. So the 2 pictures on the right are the ones before adding any of the stickers, or at least maybe there's one on the pickguard there. Then the one you can start seeing, he started to, sticker Strat it up a little bit. So what changes when he first got it did he make aside from the stickers?
So in the first pictures that are on the right, at least my right, if you're looking at the screens on the right, you could tell they're taking on like a really kind of, old school VHS handheld camcorder that they had in the 90s. That was from a show played at Soma on October 7th, 1994. And as far as we know, that's the first appearance of it. That show's pretty unique. You can find it on YouTube. You can pull it up. That is the oldest live Blink recording that's known to be out there on the internet. That popped up maybe a year and a half ago, and it was huge when it popped up.
I was going to say it was recent when it popped up, too. It was crazy.
Yeah, we all went nuts. Obviously, because you could see the sticker Strat, and you could tell it's really early on. There's hardly anything on it. There's just one sticker on the pickguard that says 90210, and oddly enough, Mark at the same show had the same sticker on his bass, the 90210 one, so Mark must have removed that off his bass as well at some point. The other thing to note, if you go on YouTube and watch that show, you might not be able to tell in these pictures, but Tom did not have the X2N pickup in the bridge initially. At that show, he took out the stock single coils from the bridge and the neck, and in the bridge, he has the JB Junior that he ended up putting in the middle eventually. If you look at the pictures on the left, which is in December of '94, you can see the X2N is installed. He's got more stickers on there. That 90210 sticker is gone, and the JB Junior's in the middle where it stayed until sometime after '97. It was swapped out. I mean, we'll get to that later on.
So
but initially,
so for the
sorry, go ahead.
So for the X2N, right? Like How would you compare that to the Invader that he started using in Strats a little later on?
It's a hot pickup. I don't know the ohms offhand. I think the Invader's a little hotter. The Invader definitely has more low end to it than the X2N does. Um, a lot of people don't like the X2N. They think it's kind of shrill. I haven't found that. I mean, if you dial it in right, it sounds good. Just listen to any Blink recording, in 96
Yeah.
to 97. I mean, I think it sounds like it sounds good. Um, but it definitely has less low end than the Invader, and I don't think it's as hot, but it is a hot pickup. And it's weird looking cosmetically. It's just a weird looking pickup.
So, since you were saying he moved it to the JB to the middle position, is this something that Tom would do? Would he use the other switch positions other than just the bridge?
Yeah, back in the day, so if we go back even before the sticker Strat, when Tom had that red Strat that everybody knows and he had all the stickers on it, that was a made in Korea Squire Strat, and it had all stock single coils. And the interesting thing about Tom, and Ilian from Angels and Airwaves actually poked fun of this on Instagram. I think it was last year. I saw the comment on one of Tom's nostalgic picture posts. Tom used to play that Strat in position 4 on the pickup selector, which means he was blending the middle and neck pickups. That's extremely odd for punk rock. That's something you'd see more in maybe bluesy lead playing or something,
Yeah.
especially on a Strat. And that's why if you listen to the early Blink records, and I'm including the demos, Fly Swatter, 21 Days, which was previously called demo number 2. If you're Short Bus, Buddha, even Cheshire Cat, he recorded Cheshire with the red Strat too. They all have that kind of distinct, weird, twangy tone to them, even when they're distorted. And it's because he's playing with a pickup selector switch in position 4. It's just odd. You never see anybody doing that, especially in punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he didn't know better, or if he just liked it, or if it's something he was just trying out. But even in that show at Soma, where the white eventual sticker Strat is introduced, I'm pretty sure he's still blending that hot rails in the neck and the middle stock single coil. And another thing with that show is he only played that sticker Strat for the first few songs, and then he went right back to his old red Squire Strat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. If you watch that whole set, he doesn't play the sticker Strat for the whole set, which is odd. It's a brand new guitar. He just got it. Maybe he wasn't comfortable with it yet. Maybe he had an issue with it, and we couldn't tell in the recording. The recording is very bass heavy. If you want to really hear what Mark's playing, it's a good show to watch. You can really hear the bass.
Oh, that's cool.
And the other thing to note in that show, especially for old school fans, it is the only known recording of Fentuzler in a set list. The band plays Fentuzler, and also Scott is not drumming at that show.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you know Blink history, you know that Scott's family moved away to Reno, and eventually, in the meantime, the band would fly him out when they could to play shows. But in the meantime, they recruited their friend Mike Krull to drum. So Mike Krull is drumming in that show, and then eventually Scott moves in with Mark's family, so he could be in the band full time again. But yeah, those are two interesting facts about that show. Fentuzler's in the set list, and Mike Krull is the drummer.
That's super cool. That is actually really cool. So this is 94, 95 hits. Starts getting a little more closer to what the guitar looks like.
Man. Yep. Cheshire Cat's already recorded at this point. I'll go back one thing in 94. We believe he bought the sticker Strat with the advance money they received from Cargo. The timing is kind of lines up with them being signed by Cargo and then to go record Cheshire Cat, so they're giving some advance money. And then they even joke in the liner notes, Tom owes like $10,000 to Fender, Ampeg, and a local bathhouse. So we believe he bought the white Strat, and he also bought an Ampeg VL1002 amplifier head, 100-watt head with a matching 4x12 cab. And that amp was used on Cheshire Cat, but not the one he bought. So we believe he bought that amp because he liked the one he used on Cheshire Cat. We don't know who owned it. We assume it could have been O of the band Fluff, who produced the album, and he was kind of a mentor to Blink, early Blink, as well as Davey Quinn of the punk band Tiltwheel was another heavy influence on Tom and the band, and they were close with the band. So we're not 100% sure, but we know Tom gets influenced by people. I've heard you guys talk about how he went to Vox and Fender because of a friend. Those are some theories we came up with. It's hard with this older stuff. We just don't have the sources to talk to.
Yeah.
We go off photos and digging up old videos. But that was one thing to note. So yeah, Cheshire gets released. Cheshire was not recorded with the white Strat. It was the red, made in Korea Squire in position 4 through the Ampeg. There was initial tracking at West Beach Recorders in LA, which Brett Gurwitz of Bad Religion owned the studio, and they weren't happy with the product there because they were kind of rushed. They didn't have a lot of time, so the guitar tracks were scrapped from that session, and they were all re-recorded at Double Time Studios outside of San Diego with Jeff Forrest, and Jeff Forrest recorded Buddha and Short Bus for them at Double Time, and then they eventually also recorded the Uranus and Lemming sessions at Double Time with Jeff.
Oh, that's cool.
Why would he use the red Squire on the album?
We don't know. Maybe he didn't buy it, the white Strat yet.
Okay.
Because we know we didn't have the Ampeg yet, and the reason we know that, and I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked here with the Ampeg in the videos about the sticker Strat, but the Ampegs were produced from around 92 or 93 until 96. They weren't made very long. They're basically a hot rodded JCM 800 on steroids. Ton more gain, built-in attenuator. They are really cool amps. I did buy one. They're awesome. Davy Jones has one. Quinn has one. But the first year models had different colors on the control panel. It was basically like all white for the like the logo and not just the letterings of all the different controls. The later year models are a purple with white. So like I have a later year model, Davey, Quinn, we all have purple. Mine I think is a 94. So Tom's had to be made after the first year. It had to be like a 94 or a 95. The one in the studio is all white. It was a first year model.
Oh,
So it's
that's cool.
little details like that. When you look for stuff like that, you could kind of piece together and figure out, okay, well, I know this isn't Tom's because it doesn't line up with what he had.
Yeah. Do you have any idea, I know it was 30 years ago, what that white Strat sold for off the shelf?
I don't have any clue what an American Standard Strat sold for at the time. We could probably do some research and dig it up.
Okay. I'm guessing around $1,000, probably 30 years ago.
Probably. I remember in the late 90s, that's about what they sold for. They were around $1,000 for an American Standard.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, 95 comes. Obviously added more stickers to it.
We did. And the X2M was late 94. Yeah, I said that right. Late 94.
Yep.
The top two photos there, or the top photo there in the middle, kind of with the green shirt, you can see his back. That's the Cheshire Cat release show. Davy Jones took pictures at that show. I believe Davy took those pictures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they played with Rhythm Collision at that show, and I want to say Strung Out, but I could be wrong on that one. But I know Rhythm Collision definitely played. So the interesting thing is when you start seeing stickers getting added, you'll realize Blink played with a lot of these bands, and then the stickers get added. Right. You know, they played with Rhythm Collision at that Cheshire release show, and then you'll notice on the right there, right just above the video picture of me and you, Stephen, you'll see the Rhythm Collision sticker on the guitar there, up near the horn. So it covers the Blink Anime Girl. And like eventually in 95, they go on the Good Times tour around the country. Tom gets arrested for drinking in Jacksonville, Florida. They have to bail him out. They toured with Strung Out, and I think it was Sprung Monkey. So eventually there's a Strung Out sticker on the guitar. They played with 7 Seconds a lot in 95. They toured with them. I know they toured with them throughout the Southwest. There's a 7 Seconds sticker added to the back of the guitar, and you can see Tom wearing 7 Seconds t-shirts often. So it seems like the more he played with some of these bands, he started getting stickers off them and throwing them on the guitar.
Yeah.
A random question that I got from somebody probably a year or two ago. What is Airwalk? And I think it's shoes, because you don't see them anymore. And then, like, were they sponsored by Airwalk? Do you know?
Dude, I feel old now when somebody asks what is Airwalk.
Yeah.
Airwalk was a like an extreme sport shoe company. skateboard shoes, but I remember the aggressive inline skaters, the rollerbladers, would wear them when they weren't skating, and some BMX guys would wear them too. Was Blink sponsored by them? Not that I ever knew of. They probably just wore them. I mean, Tom, Mark, they were all skateboard kids. Just that's what makes Blink so relatable. They were just like my friends. They were skateboard kids. They couldn't get girls, and they liked writing punk rock songs. So Airwalk was a skateboard shoe company. I actually think they're still in business. I think they're like kind of trying to make a comeback. I remember having them in the late '90s. I wore Airwalks.
Same, yeah.
Everybody wore Airwalks or Vans or some other skateboard shoes. Etnies, America, ES. I remember all those brands.
Can I ask you really quick? Is that a Gibson guitar strap?
Yeah. So the white strap. There's another piece of info here. Let me get my notes back up for the listeners here. You can kind of piece together what year a photo is if you know the guitar straps. So initially from 94 to 96, Tom used a Gibson guitar strap, that signature lightning bolt strap. And then from 96 to 97, he used this unknown make model strap, but it was like a gray marble color. And then in 97, he ends up switching to a black Ernie Ball Polypro strap, which is basically what he used all throughout his custom shop Strat days. They were all those Ernie Ball straps.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if on the Gibson strap, if you can clearly read where it says Gibson, or does he cover it up with tape or whatever?
I've never noticed it. I don't know if it wore off or if he covered it up. It's hard to tell in some of these photos. I've never noticed the Gibson, but that lightning bolt is iconic. Everybody knows Gibson made those straps.
Yeah.
So, anything else in 95?
Just like I said, you could see some of these stickers getting added. I'll briefly touch on a couple other ones. Big Brother, you'll notice right above NoFX. If anybody's a fan of Jackass, Big Brother was a skateboard magazine in the 90s, and a lot of the guys that worked for Big Brother wrote for them. They ended up becoming part of the Jackass crew. Jeff Tremaine was involved with Big Brother. I believe
wow.
Johnny Knoxville, I think, wrote for them for a bit, and Chris Pontius might have been involved in some way, shape, or form. I'm not 100% sure on exactly who, but I know a lot of the Big Brother crew, when the magazine kind of folded, they all got into Jackass.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, a lot of Tom stickers are either bands or they have to do with skateboarding. Mint, we think is something to do with skateboarding. I never heard of the company when I skated, but they might be some kind of SoCal skate shop or skate
Local.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see the Clover gets added at some point in 95 on the headstock, and the Clover covers the little pinhole that was left from him popping off the 40th anniversary pin on the headstock. He added the Descendants. He covered the Fender water slide decal with the Descendants logo. He has the big Descendants logo on the back. Everybody knows Tom's a huge Descendants fan. He's got a NoFX. Was at in late 94. 10-foot pole was late 94. Rhythm Collision gets on there in 95. So really, it's just a lot of bands they were playing with, and Tom's just slowly adding more and more stickers. The X2M was already in there. Nothing really drastic hardware-wise in 95.
Yes.
And
So we get to 96 now, and it's clearly a lot more stickers have gotten added since.
A lot more stickers.
For the guitar itself-wise, any big changes?
Nothing huge. He does eventually swap out that Gibson lightning bolt strap for this like generic gray marble colored strap. That happens in 96. He has a lot more stickers. The only other thing I would say is late 96, we believe, is when he switches out the stock saddles for Graphtec saddles.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner there, that picture of him on a 96 Warped Tour. If you were to zoom in on that, you'll see the bridge just has stock, Fender saddles on it, and eventually they get swapped out for the black-colored Graphtec saddles. I don't know what made him go to Graphtec. I mean, they are better saddles. You get better tuning stability. I don't know if somebody he knew used them, or if it was just a suggestion, or if he just wanted to try it. But it's at some point in late 96 he did swap out the saddles.
So 97, you can see better pictures of what the saddles look
yeah,
like.
you'll notice the saddles on the bridge are black now, and
This is a random one for you, Dave. Is what do you know about the trim system? Do you know if it was blocked out, if the springs had high tension, or if he even used a whammy bar? Do you have any idea?
I've never known Tom to use a whammy bar. He did solo more in early Blink. I mean, if you listen to early Blink, he's got some very rudimentary. I mean, I hate saying that word. I mean, the Blink songs, although Blink songs are great, they're catchy, but his solos are basically just major scale stuff. That's a really cool thing about early Blink. You kind of you can actually see and hear Tom learning the major scale as he progresses throughout early Blink from Fly Swatter on, and a lot of the solos are just major scale stuff, the riffs, but they're catchy, they're clever, but nothing crazy. He's not like Tom's not really known for bending the strings. I know he doesn't even use doesn't he use a different set of Ernie Ball strings now because he doesn't bend the G string. So Tom, I would imagine the trem was probably blocked. I've never seen a whammy bar on the guitar. I've never known Tom to really bend and shred. So that's just a 2-point Fender bridge that comes on those American Standard Strats, and then in late '96 he swapped out the saddles for Graphtec.
So the electrical tape here that you see isn't just for cool factor, right? It does serve a purpose. Dave, you want to tell us what the purpose is for what he...
It does. It's actually gaff tape.
Gaff
They
tape.
They use it in the music industry. You know, with live performances, they tape stuff down with it. I initially thought it was electrical tape, but if you were, Davy Jones did one of his famous zoom ins on a shot. A lot of these photos have been compiled by Davy, and he zooms in on stuff, so we can get a really, really good clear picture. Davy's an excellent graphic designer. That's his forte. He was a primary designer on recreating all the art for the stickers. But anyway, you could tell the gaff tape has kind of a texture to it. It's not smooth like electrical tape. So Tom did cover them up for the Dammit video shoot. We assume because everything he covered was a company logo, Airwalk and Arnett. So it was probably some sort of, you can't have these logos in the video without paying royalties or something. Kind of like sometimes they'll blur out like a Pepsi can or something in a movie if they don't have the rights to show it.
Mm-hmm.
We imagine that's what happened with the Dammit video. Somebody was like, hey, you can't show these, you better cover them up. But the funny thing is, if you look at the top left shot, that close up of the body there with his hand, and he has the watch on, that's from the Warped Tour in '97. We call it the hero shot because you could really see everything on the front of the guitar. You'll notice the one Arnett right beneath the X2N near the 10-foot pole didn't get covered. The Airwalk got covered above 10-foot pole, and you can see one of the Arnett's up on the horn there got covered, but the Airwalk beneath the jack and that one Arnett didn't get covered. So maybe...
But in the Dammit video, isn't it covered there in the graph tape under the?
Yeah, you're right.
So it could have just came off. Same with the Airwalk.
It must have came off. So I think the theory holds up that
yeah,
it was probably
that makes
sort
sense.
of legal issue.
Yeah, that makes
They couldn't
sense.
show it.
I've seen that video so many times, and I never noticed that. And
Yeah, right.
It's funny the things you don't notice until you're really looking. I mean, if you look at the Dammit video, there's no Lagwagon sticker yet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay.
I didn't
was
notice.
added.
I didn't
Yeah,
notice that until you told me, Dave. Before I did never notice that.
The Lagwagon sticker was added after the Dammit video was shot.
So people that are watching this and they're trying to follow along, notice right under Tom's hand, it's got the 10-foot pole sticker and that little piece of black tape, and he's talking about Arnett's next to it. But if you look in the Dammit video below, you can see those 3 black squares. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all covered. They're all covered with gaff tape, and the Dammit video is the first time that the sticker strat really gets like widespread. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's really widely seen because Dammit got MTV play.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't blow up like What's My Age Again or All the Small Things did, but it got MTV play. The sticker strat was used in the M&M's video in '95, but the M&M's video didn't get MTV play. MTV rejected the video, so it ended up appearing on a punk compilation that was put out called Cinema Beer Goggles, and it was all a VHS only release. You can't get it on CD. Eventually, they did do it on DVD, but it's essentially a compilation album of bands and all their music videos. And it's actually really good. Blink M&M's is on it. No Use for a Name, Soulmate, 10 Foot Pole, Broken Bubble. There's a ton of good songs on it. Face to Face, Debt. But if you want to check out the original unedited M&M's video with the shootout scene, it was on the Cinema Beer Goggles compilation, and you'll see the sticker Strat as
That's
it was
cool.
in '95. You'll notice that there's a lot less stickers on it compared to the Dammit video in '97.
That's cool. So, 97 comes to a close. It gets, I guess you could say, retired for the new guitars that were going to be coming into Tom's arsenal. So since its last, so when was the last time this was used then?
So we know the first appearance was October 7, '94 that we're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
The last appearance of the sticker Strat that we're aware of was November 26, 1997. Davy Jones was at the show. He remembers it. It wasn't used for the whole set. It was used for the first 2 songs, and then it was swapped out. The show was at UC Irvine in California, and Blink was actually opening for Real Big Fish. There were 2 other bands on the bill. I want to say it was the Aquabats. I could remember that part wrong, but one of the other bands was definitely Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd show. It was like a ska kind of swing revival show, and then Blink is. It's funny to think like Blink is opening for Real Big Fish nowadays. Real Big Fish would be opening for Blink 182.
Right.
So then he only played it for. So he played the Les Paul then, I would assume, for the rest of the show.
Yeah, the first 2 songs it was used. They were Pathetic and Peggy Sue, and then he switched out to the wine red 1997 Gibson Les Paul standard that everybody knows as the Billabong Les Paul with the Billabong sticker. At this show, it still had the DiMarzio X2N in the bridge, the sticker Strat, but it was essentially destickered, and it had, so if you look at the top left picture, that's what it looked like at the show, basically. That is electrical tape, the black lines and kind of star designs, and the bunnies are taken from the 1998 tour version of a Blink-182 bunny sticker, where it has the bunny in kind of a box, and then to the right of it, it has Blink 182 in kind of like a bluish, blocky, bubble-ish type font type.
It kind of looks like his Gibson TD stripe going down.
With the stripe, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I remember talking to Tom's manager, like, why did he?
That was my question. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I remember asking him, you know why Tom ever took all the stickers off? I just don't dig the design that he did compared to what it was. And he asked Tom, and Tom said, in his own words, I tried to do something cool, but I effed it up. And he said that he also regretted doing it. And that's what made me want to send him a set of stickers to resticker it.
Nice.
I mean, I wanted to anyways, but because I would love to see it restored. But when he said he regretted it, that was like, okay, we need to send him a set of stickers. Like, we could actually write this. So for anybody that doesn't know, I'm involved on the team of 4 of us total that recreated the stickers as accurately as we possibly can. It's myself, Davy Jones, Ryan of 182 News, and my buddy Quinn. Quinn is Q182 on Discord, Mark's Discord. Davey was a primary designer because that's what Davey does for a living. He's a graphics designer, and he's really awesome at it. I think I did one of them, like one of the ones that was like really easy to recreate. For the most part.
Ask you, Dave, like, I've got to go ahead and jump in and ask you. It's going to be asked over and over in the comments. Can we please buy these stickers from you? Are you selling them?
So the answer is not going to be a good one, and the answer is no. And I'll explain why. It took a lot of hours, and because Davey is the primary guy with the ability, the talent, being a graphics designer and also a teacher of graphics design and typography.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was a teacher. That's awesome.
Yeah, Davey is, I mean, he is a pro at this stuff. He put a lot of hours into basically redrawing some of these logos, and he doesn't want it to work just out there for free. So then it comes to the question of buying them, and one of the issues with that is, and I hope people understand this, most of these are trademarked and copyrighted logos, whether they belong to a band or a company. And being that we are all in the United States, I think you open yourself up to some legal issues if you start selling this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of these bands are still active. Strung Out, No Effects, 10-Foot Pole, Screeching Weasel. They're active bands. The Descendants, 7 Seconds. They're all active bands. Arnett's still an active company. There's an issue there. I know there's a Russian dude that sells them. I purchased the Russian pack a couple times for my old sticker Strat that I sold. I'm going to use this platform to kind of call the dude out and be like, we provide all the information to recreate these stickers on your own. I can understand if you're not a graphics person, you don't have the ability, because I don't completely have the ability. But this Russian dude took our info and he just didn't even try to make it accurate. And he did the same thing with the Lady Luck Les Paul stickers that Davey and I worked to recreate for my Les Paul replica. He's selling those now and they're not even accurate. So it's like, dude, you're in Russia. You're probably safe from any kind of copyright lawsuits. Just take our info and fix your sticker pack. I mean, if you're going to sell them for $50 a pack or whatever he's charging now, it used to be like 20, just make them accurate. So the short answer is no, we don't sell them, but we have pretty good reason not to.
That makes sense. So he didn't have the Invader, or did he have the Invader in the last show? You said no, right? He still had the...
No, it was the X2N. So the last appearance was at UC Irvine on 26 November 1997. He played it for 2 songs, and then the Wine Red Les Paul came out. Mm-hmm. And then on December 5th, I believe it was, 1997, they played... Yeah, it was December 5th, 1997, Friday. They played the K-Rock Almost Acoustic Christmas set, and Tom played his Wine Red Les Paul for the whole set. You can watch it on YouTube. So that's like roughly 2 weeks later. The sticker Strat's not even used at all. So at that point, we just, as far as we know, 2 songs in November 26th, and then it's retired. We've never seen it live since. I know you just mentioned it has the Invader in it now. Anybody that's watching the video can see that big black Invader pickup in the bridge. So sometime after it was retired, Tom put an Invader in the bridge and took the X2N out. And also the middle pickup is no longer a JB Jr. It appears to be a little Screamin' Demon from Seymour Duncan. We have no idea why he took the JB Jr. out and put the little Screamin' Demon in. We could tell by the screws and the poles that it's a different pickup. And that's the one we matched it up to, looking at pictures. We assumed the Invader was put in there to match his other guitars, but he never used it again live. So we're not really 100% sure why. Maybe as a backup, maybe he planned to and never did. We're not really sure. But that was all done after the guitar was retired from live use.
Interesting. Okay, so as of right now, I mean, it's de-stickered. He's got the stickers. You know, I think
got them.
The rest is in his hands, and
the rest is in his hands. We'll wait and see. I sent them out. They confirmed they got them. I had sent the stickers to them. Actually, it's a little over a year now. Right when Ava was going on tour in fall of 21, and they let me know they got them and they were going on tour. And I saw that they de-stickered, but I didn't get any word about it being re-stickered. So maybe we'll see something with the band back together now. Maybe they'll do something cool. But as of right now, I have no idea.
Brian and I joke around that right before, because you know how To The Stars releases the miniature guitars, we were betting the whole house on them it being the sticker Strat being the next one that they were going to release. I thought for sure. Timing line.
I actually brought that up to his manager. I was like, that would be a pretty cool one with the nostalgia right now with the band back together. I said a sticker Strat replica would be pretty cool. I think they might run into issues with the band logos and the company logos. But then again, they did do the Boxcar Racer 335, and that has band stickers on it. So
Yeah.
maybe they can make it happen at some point. I think that would be a really, really cool one to do.
I honestly think so too. And another cool thing they did recently was this one, which was the auction that they just had. So Dave, I know you, a few people actually helped kind of get this all together.
Yep.
So it went for a good cause too. And judging from these stickers, they look pretty darn accurate. So I would imagine you sent them these stickers, obviously, right?
Yeah, so Tom's friend, and he was a builder for Orange County Drums and Percussions. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and they wanted to do something cool to raise some money and help him out with all the medical expenses he's incurring.
Yeah.
So Tom's manager hit me up on Instagram, was like, "Can you get us another set of stickers?" And he explained what was going on. I was like, "Yeah, dude. Let me call the local print shop where I get them printed." And I told them what they were for, and they were like, "We'll do this pro bono if you could just tell them to give us a shout out." So I made sure to do a shout out on Instagram for them when the guitar was released. They did, yeah, it was really cool of them. They printed them all off for free. That's Center City Print in Scranton, PA, and I got them out to Tom real quick. Priority mailed them. Alan Corona cut the pick guard for them for the X2N. Fender donated the guitar. It's a Player Series Stratocaster. They put the X2N in it, the JB Junior, the Hot Rails, stickered it up, had Tom sign the back, and I think the auction just ended at like $5,100 American dollars. So I thought it would go a lot higher. Someone's going to get a really cool guitar, really cool guitar.
Really cool, yeah. I think the Tom's manager and that team and everybody involved really did a really good job at recreating this guitar for what it was. Like it's a pretty sick instrument, like you said, for what it went for and for all the work that went into it. It's a steal. It really is.
Yeah, dude. Like, I know what some people have paid for some of Tom's guitars, and for somebody to get that for like about $5K, I mean, I think they lucked out.
Yeah,
that's definitely a steal. I mean, he signed it. It's the stickers are the ones we all worked on. Davey redrew a ton of these. These are accurate. A lot of them we acquired the old stickers, and I'd scan them in, send the high-res scan to Davey, and he would do magic in Illustrator and Photoshop. And then, once we have these digital files created, we just send them to a print shop, and they're printed out.
No, that's again, everybody I think did a pretty decent job. Well, I think that concludes the famous sticker strat. Dave, anything else that you wanted to add that we might not have covered?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything other than the recordings. So as far as we know, the sticker strat was used on They Came to Conquer Uranus EP, the 7-inch EP that Blink put out in '96, as well as the Lemmings split EP they did with the band Swindle in '96, and Dude Ranch. I remember, if anybody watching, Mark's Discord is a really cool place to hang out. Mark interacts with the fans on there. He's really cool. Just be cool on there. Don't be a jerk. Don't be rude. But Mark was interacting a lot during COVID when everything was kind of locked down and he was going through his cancer battle. He would hang out a lot with us, and we would ask him questions, and he was really cool to answer them. So the one night we were chatting, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, do you remember what guitar Tom used on Dude Ranch? Do you remember what amp he used?" Because most of us are obsessed with chasing tone of some album or some song. For me, it's always Dude Ranch. That's like my tone for Blink. And he's like, "You know what? I'll text Tom right now," which is kind of funny because we're just chatting with Mark, and he's just like, "Yeah, let me just text Tom and ask him." So Tom actually replied back, and he was like, "Yeah, my Strat, which is the sticker Strat, that's all he had at the time, and my Marshall, which is interesting. We know Tom had a JCM 900 starting in like early '98, maybe late '97 at the earliest. We know it was in the live rig through Enema. We know it was in the live rig through Mark, Tom, and Travis show. You guys have covered that. But we don't know when he purchased it. Maybe he had it, and that's what he recorded Dude Ranch with. Maybe it was a studio JCM 900, and he wanted to get his own after that. We originally thought it was the Ampeg because the Ampeg is what he had, and it is basically a hot rodded Marshall, so it has that Marshall sound to it. A lot of people think Dude Ranch was recorded with a Mesa Boogie. I personally don't think it was. It doesn't have that rectifier sound to my ears. I could fully be wrong, though. I mean, I've heard some albums that were recorded with boogies that I didn't think were, so I could be wrong. But if I had to guess, I would think it's the Marshall, because the JCM 900 dual reverbs are kind of notorious for being thin in the lows. And if you listen to the isolated guitar stems from Dammit, which you can find on YouTube, the tone is kind of thin in the lows, especially like if you listen to the Palm Muse. It's not really low end heavy. It's definitely not going to sound like a rectifier, at least to my ears. But that was what Tom answered. So we think Dude Ranch was definitely a sticker Strat and probably a Marshall. I would assume a JCM 900. We also believe, based on the timeline, the sticker Strat was used to record I Won't Be Home for Christmas, which was recorded in September of '97, as well as the original Mutt with Scott on the drums that was recorded for Taylor Steele's The Show soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. So it got a lot of, I mean, it got a lot of use for only being in the band for a few years. Like it's pretty crazy, right? And like, look, we're talking about it decades later.
It's one of those. It's just this random white Strat with an angled pickup. We think he angled it because of Billy Joe, but we don't know. You know, and we all know Eddie was the first to do that. Eddie Van Halen. We know Tom likes to copy in a good way from people he respects or people he knows musically. So it's possible that, you know, Billy Joe's Blue Strat influenced Tom to angle the X2N. But yeah, for me, that is the guitar for Blink. Everybody has their favorite Blink guitar, whether it's one of the Gibson semi-hollow bodies or one of his awesome, you know, custom shop Strats. But for me, it's always been the sticker Strat. That's when I got into the band, and I think that's a big part of what your favorite album is, what your favorite guitar is.
Yeah.
When you got into the band, there's that nostalgia factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, again, Dave, I appreciate all of the wealth of knowledge that you and the guys that you mentioned, you know, brought to the table, especially with this. You guys did some amazing research to really figure out everything with this guitar, from stickers to everything. And I, you know, truly blessed to have you on to talk about it, because this was I learned quite a bit from this guitar. Again, thank you so much, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
Anything you want to add, Brian?
Yeah, just follow us on all of us on Instagram and YouTube, and ask any comments to Dave, and he will respond to you on your YouTube comments. And that's all I got. Did I forget something?
You did great. Fantastic, Brian.
One other thing, if anybody has any questions regarding stickers, because a couple of people will hit me up on Discord that they're making them. Just ask any of us. We'll help you with the info. We'll provide the info. What the sticker
That's
is,
awesome.
You know, what it's supposed to look like, etc.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think there's, especially since Blink's been back, I think there's going to be a lot more replicas being made of this guitar for sure. So, okay, I think that'll do it from us here. You know, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever it is you're watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thanks, guys.